couple little pieces on our training program, on our 5-day training program, just to give you a taste. And then we'll go through some of the questions that you guys specifically had. So one of the myths that we have out there, and you probably hear this, maybe from friends and family when you say you're interested in solar, is that we do not have enough solar or sunlight here for solar to work. Well, that's pure BS. In fact, parts of Alberta have some of the best solar resources in the entire world. So the amount of solar energy falling on Alberta's surface per year is 3,000 exajoules. So that's 3,000 plus 18 zeros behind it. That's how much solar energy we have, and that's an unfathomable number. I don't think there's a name for that number. Now, if we took it into practical terms, the usable energy from solar energy that we could extract here in Alberta with practical systems and practical locations is 26 exajoules. Okay? Now, if we just go down to the bottom, the amount of electrical energy services required in Alberta per year is approximately 0.20 exajoules. So we need approximately 0.20 exajoules per year for our electrical consumption. Yet we can easily extract 26. So we can power all of Alberta's needs 500 times over with just solar energy. Here are some actual numbers from Environment Canada with regards to a solar resource. Edmonton, I believe, is 7th on the list for major cities in Canada. Lethbridge is number 1 for Canada for solar resource. So all in all, Alberta technically has the best solar resource in all of Canada. Okay? These parts of Alberta, actually, they're ranked 6th or 7th in the entire world for solar resource. So we're really, really high up there. Up until recently, Germany has had the most installed solar capacity in the entire world through their solar programs, their renewable energy programs for the last 30 years. And it works incredibly well there. So if it works incredibly well in Germany, when they receive 1/3 the amount of sunlight that Alberta does, you can imagine how well it'll work here. Now that we have government support, I'll just give you an idea of how much work there's going to be in this industry. Since the government brought in their policies about solar and about eliminating all coal-fired generation, that means that they have to replace that coal-fired generation with something. And what they're replacing the coal-fired generation with is renewables like solar and wind and some natural gas. So over the next 2 years, the Alberta government wants 2,000 megawatts of solar installed just in the next 2 years. Okay? We have 17.4 right now, and it took 8 years to do that. So that means here in Alberta, we have 1.6 million roofs. Okay? And I'm talking about residential homes, semi-detached and detached homes. We have 1.6 million. Okay? So ostensibly, we could easily probably get 1 million systems on 1 million homes. Okay? If we had 100 companies, solar contractors, right, installing 100 systems per year, and this is a stretch. That would be very difficult to do without a very large crew. 100 systems by 100 companies, how many years of work is that? If you just do the math. 100 years. Just in solar. And right now we have approximately just under 100 companies on the Solar Energy Society of Alberta's website registered. And if my company were ever able to do 100 systems in a year, I would probably need a crew of 50 people to do that. Okay? So it's a lot of work. Because our install season is short compared to other places in the US where they don't have to worry about snow on the roof. Does that make sense? So that just talks about the residential roofs. I'm not talking about the commercial roofs. So there's commercial buildings as well. Approximately 1 million of those in Alberta, right? So as you can see, there's going to be a lot of work in this industry. So let's look at some current solar programs in Alberta. So currently we have an on-farm solar program for farmers and ranchers. It's a 60 cent per watt rebate up to a maximum of $50,000 for a PV system for solar. Municipal solar program, it's a 75 cent per watt rebate up to, I think, a maximum of $300,000 or $500,000, I can't remember, okay? Indigenous solar program, the program was $200,000, up to a maximum of $200,000 for 60% of the cost, but now it's re-upped. It's now up to 80% of the cost of that system for Indigenous communities. So programs are getting better and better all the time. There's the Indigenous Community Energy Program as well. It's a $90,000 grant to, to assess Indigenous community buildings for energy efficiency. And then we have the homeowners and commercial building owners solar rebate program that was just finally released today. Okay? So applications are open, basically. It's 30% of project cost or 75 cents per watt, whichever is the lesser, and up to a maximum of 10,000 for homes, right? And commercial building, 25% of project cost or 75 cents per watt, whichever is less, up to a maximum of $500,000 per building. Okay, so it's quite significant. It's really good. Okay, so this is what's going to generate a whole bunch of work for everyone. What are some of the careers in the solar industry? Well, if we break it down, and it's not all of them, I mean, this is just a small list. So in the design aspect, engineer, right? Or an engineering technologist, or PEng, engineer tech, master electrician, journey person electrician. They can all design PV systems, okay? Installation, master electrician, journey person electrician, apprentice electrician, laborer. But the caveat is, labor means that you are not doing electrical work and not advancing in your job as a result. It's very limited to what you can do as a laborer, okay? Manufacturing, electrician or other trades, welder, engineer, engineer tech, designer, drafter, carpenter, etc. There's warehousing, there's shipping, there's consulting, there's administration, there's welding for fabrication of support structures, there's sales, there's policy, government research institution, think tanks, etc., advocacy, NGOs, think tanks, research institutions, scientific research, and the list can go on and on and on. Just the amount of the types of jobs in this industry. So it's not just installation.